Welcome, everyone. So I'm afraid to ask this question. How many people were not here last week? Not here. Not so bad. How many people did not hear the class last week? So you were here last week and you didn't hear the class. That was amazing. Okay. All right. So, okay, let's do a workshop. You got pen and paper. I want you to, because the concepts can tend to be, maybe a little bit deeper than usual classes that we give. Let's do a workshop to try to bring it down to earth. So I want you to write down, if you had to look at your day, what did you look to receive today? What did you look to receive today? Right? So let's say you went to work because you looked to receive something. You spoke to someone, you went to a restaurant, you went out with your friends, you came to class. How many different things did you do today that it was the consciousness of, I'm going to receive something? That's what you were thinking. Now maybe you're looking back, you found some loophole, sharing loophole, but at the moment that you did it, what was your consciousness? Okay? So if your consciousness was to receive something, just write down as many things as possible. Very important that you can write it down. Write down as many things as possible. Okay, you're about to receive a lecture that Michael Berg gave on paper. That Michael Berg gave about, maybe 6 weeks ago to the Chevra, and I think even to the LA community. I want you to read it to yourself, try to understand the concept, and then take 30 seconds to share what you understood with the person next to you. What you're reading is the foundation of what we're speaking about tonight. Okay? So very important. It's coming across. And if we don't have enough, just to share with the person next to you. So read it and discuss, and we'll begin in 2 minutes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read a section from the Zohar just to connect us to the energy. Is that okay? By the way, the Zohar connects us to Bina consciousness. And for those of you who were here last week, what is Bina consciousness? Desire to share. And we know that the source of all chaos in our lives is when I have an inactive desire to share. Sharing doesn't connect us to the light of the Creator. We learn the desire to share is a higher level. Because first the desire to share came, then the sharing came. Now, I know I heard a lot of feedback about, it's a different way of thinking in this class. And so you have to just kind of open your mind for a moment and try to look at the structure and design behind creation. Because before the manifestation of sharing occurs, the desire to share must occur, right? Before you build a building, what comes before that? The desire and the thought of the building, okay? So we know that many times when we're sharing and when we say our heart wasn't in it, I did it with doubt, I did it with uncertainty, I did it with guilt, I did it from guilt, I did it to be a nice guy, it's because I didn't go a step back and awaken a desire to share. Now we learned that when a person awakens a desire to share, he connects to the source of creation, which is called Bina. And as a result, he creates his reality. For example, you're sitting there with a product in your hand that you know is really good. Most people who have products, or you have a restaurant, or you have something that belongs to you, people think, I have this restaurant in order to make money. If this is the thought process, it's a person who's completely disconnected from Bina, from creation, from his customers, from his clients, and everything will feel like, everything will be temporary, and only chaos can occur. So if the person has wonderful food at his restaurant, or he has a product, he needs to look at his product and awaken a tremendous desire to share. Okay? A tremendous desire to share. Immediately, he brings Bina into his soul, and amazing things start to happen. Because he'll get ideas of how to make the product better. Because if he wants to share, Bina comes and shows him the perfect version of this product. Not only that, but he creates a what to receive it? A vessel. And that's amazing because sometimes if we're bored, some people say, I'm really bored, I have nothing to do. It's because I don't have a desire to share. Because if I had a desire to share, a fun situation would be created. A fun situation would be created. And it's amazing because most people live their lives not first with a desire to share, it's with a desire to receive. Like, if I'm going on vacation, I don't go to vacation to share. I go because I want to receive. And that's why the vacation doesn't end up well. Or doesn't end up as well as it could have. Some people say, well, I've been living desire to receive all my life, and life's not so bad. It only means there was a much better reality that you were supposed to have, but Satan saw that and he just gave you this okay reality, and the worst part is that we're okay with it. Does that make sense? So for every reality that I live, every day that I live looking to receive something, there's always a better reality parallel to that, which can be awakened by the desire to share. Now I'm going to read a section from the Zohar that is a beautiful understanding of what we spoke about last time. Vayoma Hashem lo yadon ruchi be'adam le'olam b'sha'agam hu basa v'gomer. Amar Rabbi Elazar tachazi kad bara kudsha berechu al ma avad lahay al ma leish tamsha kegavna delayla v'chad b'nei alma b'inun zachayin de'azle be'orach Miashar kudsha berechu it'a rucha dechaye delayla ad demetoyinun chayin le'atar de'akov shaya be. By the way, every time you read from the Zohar, you bring the energy of Bina through your soul. And if a person truly studies the Zohar enough, that's what Michael Berg would always tell the Chevra, study the Zohar, even if you don't understand a word, because the light of Bina eventually will come through and a person will understand. And the reason why I want right away to understand it doesn't happen, because as that energy comes, it's amazing, because as that energy comes through you, tomorrow you understand something. In 2 days you understand something. In 3 days something opens up. Because it takes time for the other dimensions to be created, from Binah to Zerampin to Malchut, which is manifestation. So most people actually receive amazing ideas not when they're scanning the Zohar immediately, but later on. Because that makes sense, because if it's Binah, manifestation occurs later. Okay? Raise your hand if I completely lost you. Wow, okay. Raise your hand if you're lying. A couple people lying, thank you very much. All right? Okay, let me read it in English. And the Creator said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever because he's flesh. Okay? So the Creator says, I'm not going to be with a man forever because he's made of flesh. Flesh means malchut. That's why the most painful torture a person can go to is ripping his skin off of his flesh. That's what Rabbi Akiva went through, because it's like detaching malchut, which is the thing that we are holding so cherish, we cherish so much to ourselves. Rabbi Elazar said, come and behold, when the Creator created the world, He made the world, which is malchut, to be used within the supernal world, which is binah. This means that all the lights that shine in binah should also shine in malchut. Now when people are righteous and they follow the correct path, the Creator reveals to him the spirit of life, which is the energy that comes from binah, starts to be put into his soul, until his life reaches a place where Jacob exists, which is Zerampin. Okay? Sounds confusing, but it's so beautiful. So I'm going to explain it again, and you're going to see how it all connects together. When a person is spiritual, he brings the energy of Binah into his life. And it goes into Malchut, and what does Malchut do? It goes up to Zerampin. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a loop around. I made that word up, because it sounds like a loop around. Here's Binah, goes into Malchut, and then Malchut goes up and connects to Zerampin. Just like that. Okay? And when that happens, that's miracles and wonders. Okay? So, when Adam and Eve were created, what you see here didn't exist. All that was the world of emanation, called in Hebrew Atzilut, if you want to write it down. And this is what we call in Kabbalah 1, Class 1, the what? The 99% realm. Okay? This is what the 99% realm looks like. You have the Keter and Chokhmah, which we're not going to discuss right now because it's not for our class. Bina, Zerampin, and Malchut. When Adam and Eve were created, representing Zerampin and Malchut, what that really means is they were receiving energy from Bina. They were receiving energy from Bina. Basically, they abused, they weren't spiritual, and they caused the sin to occur. What you read on those papers was about the upper soul and the lower soul. Two types of soul. What is the lower soul? The lower soul is the soul that is in your body right now. This is the soul. That's the lower soul. It's very small. It's only 1% of the soul, but it's in my body right now. What is the upper soul? It's the 99% soul that is up here in this realm, untouched, in perfect state. What you're learning now is that upper soul has a name. It's called Zerampin. Can you all say it? Zerampin is our upper soul, which can never be damaged. It stays up there and in its perfect state. Now, what's the problem? After we short-circuited, because any short circuit can only happen in what world? Malchut. The Malchut, because it short-circuited, because Adam and Eve took energy too soon, they received energy. They said, I want to receive energy. Adam and Eve were born on Friday, and the Creator told them, you can receive all the energy, but you have to wait until Shabbat, which is Binah. Then you're protected. No, they took it too soon. For us, that means when I get angry and I confront, it's too soon. Confrontation is not bad. Confronting at the wrong time is very bad. Having uncertainty is drawing energy too soon. When I have certainty, it's like a restriction. I put the energy for later. I trust in the future. It's about the future. It's not now, I need to know now. When a person says, I need clarity now, he's short-circuiting. It's a short circuit. So, the sin of Adam caused the separation of what? And Malchut fell and created these spiritual worlds. Creation, formation, and action. Creation, formation, and action. So I'm going to review again. Once we get this deep material down, then we're going to make it very practical, and it's all going to come together. Bina created the reality that we call the game of life, Zerampin and Malchut, at a very high level in the 99%. Because of the sin of Adam, the Malchut fell. And you know how, like, what's the best example you can use? You know, let's say you take like a, I can't think of a better example, so just bear with me. A very wet ball. And I roll the wet ball. What is it going to leave in its track? Water. Or like a shooting star. You see like or like a plane that's flying, it's leaving the smoke behind. So when Malchut fell, the trail that it left were these three spiritual worlds. Now, what are these three worlds? You're actually very familiar with them. The closest world to the 99% is called the world of righteous souls. It's where the souls that finish their tikkun, they occupy this world. What's this next world? It's called the world of angels. Angels. The angels are not as powerful as righteous souls. Why? Who can tell me why? They have no free will. They're just good. They don't have a choice to be bad. They don't have a choice to be good. They're just good. And below that is us right here, right now, sitting on blue benches here in New York City. in the 1% world. Below that is called what, everybody? Everybody, can you read that? Klipot. Klipot is basically the world of the impure system. You don't want to mess with the klipot. The klipot, here's what's interesting. See these hands? They got hands. They have very long hands. Remember those? Remember when you were a child? Those hands that you there's like a big rod and you squeeze it and have a hand. You know what I'm talking about? That's what that is. Here's what's amazing. I don't have the specifics, but every time you have a certain type of ego, those hands can go up a certain amount. It says that a person with pride or like ego, thinking that he's better, thinking that he doesn't need the light, the hands can go all the way up to here. Can't go here, but can go all the way up to here. That's why a person who has ego destroys all the world. Destroys all the world. A person who doesn't believe that he needs the light of the Creator in his life destroys all the world. That's why when the Creator sees that there's too much ego, the Creator removes from this person his ability to function, his ability to do well, his ability to be prosperous. Because what does that do to the ego? It puts the ego down, the hands retreat, and the world has more light. It's very hard to have ego around righteous people, like to be around the Rav. It's very hard. Very hard because that light doesn't allow the hands to come. So a person's ego is subdued. Does that make sense? Okay. Before we move on, it's a lot of information. Take a moment, 20 seconds with the person next to you. Try your best to explain everything you learned step by step. Okay? Go for it. Questions? By the way, okay, yeah. Yes.
Shh. Their ability to act in the world is taken from them.
When the question was, when people have pride, their ability to be successful and function is taken away from them. Yes.
So what about somebody like Hitler and Osama?
It's a different thing.
What about people like Hitler and Osama bin Laden and all this? Okay. Bottom line is, for him, it was also taken away. That's one way of looking at it. On the other way of looking at it is, that's a whole other concept of people who come to this world as pure evil. I'm not saying he was or he wasn't. I'm just saying the concept. Pure evil in order to bring pain to the world. Because what does pain do? It cleanses the klipot. So now you understand what I mean pain. Pain takes the hands from all the levels and pushes it down. Pain does that in the world. So every time there's a tragic thing that happens in the world, all the klipot start to break within us. We start to open our heart. We start to become more spiritual. We start to become more giving. Even though it's totally fake, it's temporary. It's like reactive giving, right? We see it in any type of destruction that happens in any city in the world. There's a reactive giving that occurs. So it does get to a point where there's so much ego in the world that one man is the embodiment of all that ego. His job is to bring so much pain that just cleanses the world back down to a balancing point. Make sense? Yes?
I know you said that, we're talking about, maybe not a whole discussion about that. I'm still stuck with, how do we get from Binah to Malchut back up to Zerah?
I'm getting there. The question was, how does Binah come into Malchut to go up to Zer and Pin? That's the question, right? We're getting there. Okay? Yes?
Okay, tell me question, ask this question. You said that the skin is malchut. Now, if somebody, this is...
I wouldn't go there. Yeah, and I feel you know where you're going to go. It's just going to sidetrack from the concept a little bit.
Okay.
Ask me after class. Last question.
You talked about the 3 levels below Malchut.
Yes.
Kind of a trail path that
Yeah.
are they in Malchut or they're like other levels? We don't really
What's a Russian doll thing called? What? Matryoshka?
Yeah.
It's not like a babushka. It's like a babushka. Not a babushka. Okay, you see how that works? The dolls? That's what that is. You have all the dolls, and then smallest one all the way down. Okay, that's how it works. Okay? Now, ever heard of the story of the sun and the moon was jealous of the sun? Yes? That's that. So that's another way of looking at creation, because Kabbalah is so powerful, it explains the same secret from many different angles. So what was this angle? Malchut, which is the lower soul, attached to Zeir Anpin, which is the higher soul, was the moon, right? The vessel, that's the sun that shines, and it was jealous. It said, I want to be like you. I don't want to just be the tail end of you. And there's an expression, who knows it? I don't want to be the tail of the lion. I want to be the head of the fox, right? Some people rather be the head of the fox than the tail of the lion. But which one's higher, the tail of the lion or the head of the fox? The tail of the fox is not an option. That's the tail of the fox. That's the worst option. It's the first part to be eaten. The tail of the lion is still higher than the head of the fox, but the head of the fox has a lot of ego. Because, listen, I don't mind being lower as long as I can be the boss. That's ego, right? Here's the best example. Let's say, sometimes you go, and it happens to us. It happens to teachers, let's say there's a big event with the Rav and Karen, 3,000 people. Some people, they feel the energy, it's no question in the mind they go. But when you go to a big event, what are you? You're small, you're the tail of the lion, right? So it's not that exciting sometimes, And I've heard it before, the connection in New York was so powerful. 100 people, I sat at the head table, it was amazing stories, but it's the head of the fox. The head of the fox. I had to stay in New York. Not I had to stay. But according to the system of taking care and rotation and whatnot, we stayed. And it was amazing, right? We had an amazing time in New York. But that's still the head of the fox. As amazing as it was still the head of the fox. Whatever was happening in San Diego, what stays in San Diego. There's more energy there, but it doesn't feel like more energy sometimes. It feels like, no, I like the cozy, I like the, but that's the illusion. Because a person gets more always being the tail of the lion. So anyways, the moon was jealous, so the critic said, fine, you're jealous? Go, you can have your own world. So the moon fell and he had his own domain. This is his domain. But now he's disconnected. And that's why when you look at the moon in the sky, you see nothing. The only time you see the moon lit is when what? The sun shines on it, and that's in the middle of the month. That's why it's such a powerful day, because it says in the middle of the month, it reverts back to before the sin of Adam, before all the short circuits, and a person can meditate. At that moment, all his negativity is elevating back up to its source. It's a very powerful time. People get married at this time. A lot of amazing things happen on that day. Okay? So everyone understand what I just said? The 15th of the lunar month. Because the moon is lit with the sun. So it's as if this realm went back up to here to be with the sun before the sin. What? Right, you're taking this world, which is all this negativity, and you elevate it back up to the source so there's no more negativity. And that's why it washes all the negativity of a person away on this day.
So why do they say that more accidents happen when there's full moon?
I'm sorry?
More accidents happen when there's full moon.
I don't know why more accidents happen because of the full moon. Okay, let's go, let's continue. Let's continue back to Shabbat. Okay? Let's look at our little slide. Give excuse me for my lack of colloquial language, but for Nicholas, give a shout out to Nicholas for creating this slide for us, spent all day making it. This is what we learned so far. Atzilut is the world of the light, the 99%. As you can see here, you have Zeir Anpin and Malchut. And that created the world of Bria, the world of righteous souls. It's a picture of the Ari, by the way. I think that's Moses. Or Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Okay, Yitzhak, the world of angels. And Asiyah, the world of action, the 1% that we've learned about. It's the world we live in. Okay? Now, the fall of Adam created a deficiency in all of these worlds. This is what it looked like. Okay? See, Zeir Anpin is actually our soul, our higher soul. And then Malchut created the world of Bria, then created the world of Yetzirah, then created the world of action. Okay? We make the PowerPoint so visually you can feel what's happening. And that eventually manifested into a body. There you go. Did you miss it? You can see it again. Okay? That soul, because it fell to such a low level, becomes encapsulated by a body, which is pure desire to receive. So it's kind of like, because the soul fell, it earned a very selfish body. And that's the body we have now, that all day long wants to be comfortable, have pleasure, have fulfillment, and is enamored by ego and compliments and so on and so forth. Okay. Before we get there, I'm not there yet. Okay. So, now let's understand what happened. The whole point of all my spiritual work is to elevate Malchut back to its source, back to this void that's here. Okay, there's a void here now. And it's amazing because during the week, I have the tools of the righteous souls and the angels to help elevate me through my spiritual work back up to be with Zeir Anpin. So what did we read in the Zohar? We read in the Zohar what? That only by receiving the energy of Binah can Malchut go back up to be with Zeir Anpin. And what is Binah? Desire to share. That means that it's so simple, and it all goes back to the same concept. When I feel guilty, when I feel bad, when I don't have clarity, when things are stuck, when I'm in pain, it's difficult, but I have to awaken my desire to share. Because when I awaken my desire to share, I want to share. I open my door, I look outside, like Abraham would open his tent, he would just look outside. What's going on? Look at people. Look through your phone book. Look and see what is needed. And when that awakening happens, the light of Binah comes, which pushes us up, elevates us. It elevates us beyond chaos, and then that's how a miracle occurs. That's how something profound comes into a person's life. If a person doesn't have clarity, it's only because he's missing this rocket booster, which shifts him up. What is Ana B'Koach? Ana B'Koach, 7 lines that helps you climb 7 levels until you tap into Binah. The energy of Binah comes in and elevates you high.